You're not here by accident. Something deep inside you guided you to this precise moment. Perhaps you have been feeling entirely overwhelmed lately, caught in a tempest of emotions and circumstances that seem to make no logical sense to the rational mind, yet carry a heavy, undeniable weight in your soul. You might be looking at your life and feeling a profound sense of disorientation, as though the very ground beneath your feet has shifted, leaving you unmoored and drifting in a vast, unpredictable ocean of uncertainty. Society often labels this period of intense discomfort as a tragedy, a crisis, or a breakdown, whispering that you have somehow lost your way or failed to maintain the steady trajectory expected of you. But what if this terrifying chaos is not a punishment or a misstep, but rather the most sacred and necessary initiation of your entire existence? What if the intense discomfort you are experiencing is not the sound of your life falling apart, but the magnificent roaring sound of your life finally falling together? According to the profound psychological and spiritual insights of Carl Jung, the periods of our greatest inner turmoil are frequently the exact moments preceding our most extraordinary periods of growth. This is the process of individuation, the ultimate journey of the soul, where the false layers of the persona are stripped away so that the true, authentic self may finally emerge. You are standing on the precipice of a monumental transformation, a divine dismantling of everything you thought you were, making way for everything you are truly meant to become. If you are experiencing this frightening unraveling, you must understand that it is a powerful sign of your impending liberation. You are not losing your mind. You are simply losing the illusions that have kept you completely trapped in a life that is too small for your spirit. Today, we are going to explore the 7 definitive signs that you are about to start the absolute best stage of your life, a stage characterized by deep peace, authentic power, and profound alignment with your higher self. The first undeniable sign of this massive impending shift is that you find yourself relentlessly questioning previously held beliefs. For years, perhaps decades, you accepted the narratives handed down to you by your family, your culture, your education, and your society. You adopted these limiting beliefs as absolute truths, building the entire foundation of your identity upon them. But now, a strange and powerful awakening is occurring within your consciousness. You are suddenly looking at these deeply ingrained belief systems and feeling a profound sense of dissonance. The religious dogmas, the societal expectations regarding success, the definitions of love and happiness that you once swallowed without hesitation now feel incredibly restrictive, hollow, and fundamentally untrue to your evolving spirit. This questioning is not a casual curiosity. It is a fierce, burning need to dismantle the mental prisons that have confined your potential. You are experiencing the terrifying yet exhilarating process of cognitive unraveling, where the architecture of your old worldview is collapsing under the weight of your expanding awareness. Carl Jung taught that to find our true selves, we must first confront the shadow, the hidden, unexamined parts of our psyche, and this begins by interrogating the very beliefs that have kept us compliant and asleep. As you question these old paradigms, you might feel a temporary sense of vertigo, a dizzying realization that you don't know what is true anymore. This is a highly auspicious state. The void left by these dismantled beliefs is the exact space required for your inner wisdom to finally speak. You are clearing the debris of conditioned thought to make room for absolute, authentic truth. This leads directly into the second sign, which is a growing, often painful disconnection from your past. As your frequency begins to shift and elevate, the person you used to be starts to feel like a distant stranger. You might look at old photographs, revisit old haunts, or even recall past achievements, and instead of feeling a sense of pride or belonging, you feel a profound sense of grief and detachment. It is as if you are grieving the death of a version of yourself that you once loved, but can no longer inhabit. This nostalgia and grief for the past self are entirely natural components of the transformation process. You are shedding old skins, and the shedding process is inherently uncomfortable. You are realizing that your past experiences, while valuable for bringing you to this exact moment, do not dictate your future. The behaviors, the coping mechanisms, the defense strategies, and the identities that helped you survive your earlier years are now recognized as heavy armor that is preventing you from truly living. You are actively releasing the need to be the person everyone expects you to be, the person you have always been, in order to become the person you are destined to be. This profound disconnection from your history is not an act of betrayal against your former self. It is an act of profound love and liberation for your future self. You are cutting the energetic cords that have kept you tethered to old traumas, old mistakes, and old limitations. As you allow this old identity to dissolve, you might feel incredibly vulnerable, stripped bare of the comforting illusions of predictability. Yet, in this vulnerability lies your greatest strength, for only when you are completely empty of the past can you be fully filled with the brilliant potential of the present. Moving forward in this sacred journey, you will encounter the third sign, a radical shifting of your values away from material and external expectations. In the earlier stages of life, the ego often dictates our pursuits. We chase external validation, accumulating wealth, status, titles, and material possessions, falsely believing that these external markers will finally provide the internal peace and security we desperately crave. We run on the endless treadmill of societal achievement, exhausting ourselves in the pursuit of a culturally defined version of success. But as you approach this best stage of your life, a profound awakening shifts your entire value system. You suddenly realize that no amount of money, no prestigious job title, and no level of fame or popularity can nourish your starving soul. The hunger you feel is not for more things, it is for more depth, more meaning, and more authentic connection. You begin to look at the relentless pursuit of external validation as a tragic waste of your precious life force energy. Instead, you find your desires turning inward. You crave peace above profit. You value deep, soulful connections over superficial networking. You seek authentic purpose rather than public applause. This shift can be deeply disorienting, especially if your entire life has been structured around achieving specific external goals. You might even feel a sense of failure or laziness as your ambition for worldly success begins to wane, but this is a massive illusion. Your ambition has not disappeared. It has simply been redirected toward a much higher, much more extraordinary target, the realization of your true self. Carl Jung emphasized that the second half of life must be devoted to the inner journey, to the discovery of the soul's unique purpose. As you shift your values, you are aligning yourself with this profound psychological truth. You are no longer willing to sacrifice your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being on the altar of external success. You are reclaiming your energy, choosing to invest it in activities, pursuits, and passions that truly resonate with your soul's unique vibrations. This inward turning naturally brings you to the fourth sign of your impending transformation, a rapidly deepening connection to your inner intuition. For most of your life, you are likely taught to rely exclusively on rational thought, logic, and the opinions of external authorities. You were conditioned to ignore the quiet, subtle voice of your own inner knowing, dismissing your gut feelings as irrational or untrustworthy. But as you dismantle your limiting beliefs and detach from external expectations, the volume of your inner wisdom begins to turn up dramatically. You start to experience moments of profound clarity that bypass the logical mind entirely. You simply know things without knowing exactly how you know them. This intuition becomes your primary compass, guiding you through the chaos of your transformation. You begin to trust the feelings in your body, the sudden flashes of insight, and the quiet nudges of your heart. Furthermore, as you tune into this internal frequency, you will start to notice an incredible increase in synchronistic events. Carl Jung coined the term synchronicity to describe meaningful coincidences that cannot be explained by cause and effect, but rather point to a deep, underlying connection between the internal state of the observer and the external physical world. You might start seeing repeating numbers, encountering people who deliver exact messages you needed to hear, or stumbling upon books and resources that perfectly address your current internal struggles. These synchronistic events are not random accidents. They are powerful affirmations from the collective unconscious, vivid signposts confirming that you are on the right path. They are the universe's way of communicating with you, validating your deepening connection to your higher self. As you learn to trust this intuition and recognize these synchronicities, the fear of the unknown begins to dissipate, replaced by a profound sense of being divinely guided and supported by forces far greater than your conscious mind. This deep trust in your inner guidance inevitably fuels the fifth sign, a powerful, undeniable draw toward personal growth and self-discovery. You develop an insatiable appetite for understanding the deeper mechanics of your own psyche and the universe at large. This is not a fleeting interest. It is a consuming passion. You find yourself drawn to books, lectures, philosophies, and spiritual practices that challenge your current level of consciousness and push you to expand your awareness. You are no longer satisfied with superficial conversations or mundane distractions. You crave profound intellectual and spiritual nourishment. You are willing to face your darkest shadows, to examine your deepest fears, and to confront the unhealed traumas that have held you back. This courageous willingness to look inward and do the difficult psychological work is the hallmark of a truly resilient soul. You understand that true liberation requires facing the uncomfortable truths about yourself, acknowledging your projections, and integrating the fragmented parts of your psyche. Jung believed that this process of shadow work is absolutely essential for achieving wholeness. By shining the light of your consciousness into the darkest corners of your mind, you are actively transmuting your pain into power, your wounds into wisdom. This intense focus on personal growth is a clear indicator that you are preparing the fertile soil of your soul for a massive blossoming. You are actively participating in your own evolution, consciously choosing to emerge completely rebuilt from the ashes of your former self. As you undergo this intense internal reconstruction, the external landscape of your life must inevitably change, which brings us to the sixth and often most painful sign, a necessary distancing from toxic, unaligned relationships. As your internal frequency rises and your consciousness expands, you will naturally begin to vibrate at a different rate than many of the people in your life. Relationships that were once comfortable and easy may suddenly feel draining, restrictive, or even toxic. You might find that you can no longer tolerate the gossip, the negativity, the drama, or the superficiality that once characterized your social interactions. This is not a judgment against the people you are leaving behind. It is simply a matter of vibrational physics. You are no longer an energetic match for environments and connections that require you to shrink, hide, or compromise your authentic truth. This realization often brings a profound wave of grief and loneliness. Losing friends, distancing from family members, or ending romantic partnerships is incredibly frightening and deeply painful. You might feel a desperate urge to cling to these familiar connections, terrified of the isolation that accompanies this stage of the journey. But you must understand that this clearing out is absolutely vital for your spiritual survival. You cannot carry the heavy, stagnant energy of unaligned relationships into the extraordinary new life you are building. You must have the courage to release the attachments that no longer nourish your soul, trusting that the universe will eventually bring new, highly aligned connections into your life. By setting firm boundaries and walking away from toxicity, you are sending a powerful message to your subconscious and to the universe that you value yourself, that you respect your journey, and that you are making uncompromising space for the love, support, and authentic connection you truly deserve. This painful process of energetic pruning leads directly to the seventh and ultimate sign, a profound sense of release and the conscious creation of completely new space in your life. After the storms of questioning, the grief of letting go, the shifting of values, and the severing of unaligned ties, you finally reach a clearing. You step into a vast, open space within your own consciousness. The heavy burdens of the past, the suffocating expectations of society, and the toxic energies of old relationships have been swept away. In their place, you find a profound, unshakable peace. This is the climax of your internal hero's journey. You have crossed the threshold of your own fears, navigated the treacherous trials of the shadow, and now you stand reborn in the light of your own authentic power. You realize that the void you once feared, the emptiness that caused you so much anxiety and discomfort, is actually a field of pure, infinite potential. It is the blank canvas upon which you will paint the masterpiece of your new life. You are no longer merely reacting to the circumstances of the world. You have become the conscious architect of your own reality. The fear of the unknown has been completely replaced by a thrilling anticipation of what you are about to create. You understand that the chaos and the tragedy were simply the necessary forces required to dismantle the prison of your old life. You are filled with a deep, radiant love, not just for the world around you, but for yourself, for the resilient, courageous soul that survived the fire and emerged brilliant and unbroken. This is the dawn of the best stage of your life. You are stepping into a reality characterized by absolute freedom, profound spiritual alignment, and extraordinary joy. You are finally living as your true, unmasked self, guided by your inner wisdom, supported by the synchronistic flow of the universe, and vibrating at the frequency of your highest potential. The struggles of the past have been fully alchemized into the gold of your present wisdom. You are awake, you are alive, and you are ready to embrace the magnificent destiny that has been waiting for you all along. Every tear, every moment of confusion, every heartbreak was leading you precisely here, to this sacred awakening, to this beautiful, breathtaking blossoming of your ultimate truth. Keep walking with us at Carl Jung Philosophy. There is so much more to uncover and discover together. We'll meet again very soon.